Welcome to the latest edition of NC Sports Weekly News. The global water sports calendar is packed, so here's the lineup. With 14 days at sea, co-skippers Breymeier and Ribes on Hugo Boss win the New York to Barcelona transatlantic race for the IMOCA 60s. Giancarlo Pedote does it again with a poker for Prysmian at the Mini on May, but this time it was a match race. French sailing star Loick Peyron meets the web champions. Special report with Sebastien Destremau. Gary Hunt and Rachelle Simpson cross Hell's Gate at the Cliff Diving World Series in Fort Worth, Texas. Fan shower for football legend Diego Armando Maradona at full throttle on the XCATs in his adoptive Naples. Ian Williams and the GAC Pindar team conquer Match Cup Germany, season opener for the Alpari World Match Racing Tour. NC Sports, plunge into the action. Following a tough Atlantic crossing and a stressful tactical passage in the light Mediterranean airs, co-skippers Pepe Ribe and Ryan Breymeier on Hugo Boss were first across the finish line of the New York to Barcelona, stopping the clock at 14 days, 2 hours and 44 minutes.
In the Atlantic was great. We had superb conditions, downwind or reaching most of the time, and it was just, you can't call it champagne sailing when you have to wear foul weather gear all the time, but it's as close to that as you could get, you know. Really good, really nice trip. You know, we spent one day off the Portuguese coast with the A3 up doing 23, 24 knots, and that was spectacular. Well, the hardest moment has been the last 3 or 4 days, however long it's taken us to come up the Mediterranean. Like I always say, the light air is by far the worst.
Sailors were met on the famous Rambla by cheering crowds and families as this city gears up for the Barcelona race to start on December 31st. Just 9 miles behind, but 4 hours later, local team Neutrogena with Guillermo Altadil and Jose Moas closed in second place, following a windless match up the Spanish coast. While the next day, Team Gais with Ana Corbella and Chilean co-skipper Gerard Marin completed the podium for this New York to Barcelona 2014. Prologue to the big round-the-world event for the IMOCA 60s, the Transat from New York at first saw French duo Guillermo Lagravière on Safran, leading the fleet of 4 across the Atlantic Ocean. Mark and Morgan set the pace in the slalom between high and low pressure systems all the way up to the mouth of the Mediterranean. On day 11, facing gale force conditions, the boat leaped off a huge wave, slamming Guillermo on deck while on a sail change. Quickly assisted by Lagravière, he was retrieved to the cockpit with a serious blow to the chest. Forced out of the race, the two skippers found safe refuge in Cadiz. Repeating his 2013 result in yet another spectacular solo race, Italian sailor Giancarlo Pedote on Prysmian scored his 4th consecutive victory on the French Mini 650 circuit at the Trophée Marie-Agnès Perron, also known as the Mini en Mai. Over 40 skippers in the Proto-An Series division took on the 500 nautical mile challenge with start and finish lines in Douarnenez. This was also an important victory for the inventor of the winning round bow Mini. In fact, this time around, Prysmian and Giancarlo faced off with an identical design by David Raison, Coultisol, led by French sailor David Baudart. In effect, the two skippers distanced the rest of the prototype fleet and engaged in a close match race for each and every waypoint. First, southbound towards Lorient and around the island of Croix, then around the buoy at Quiberon, and again northwards back to Douarnenez. The clash of the round bows came to a climax with 2 marks to go and just 30 nautical miles from the finish line. Pedote found better wind on his offshore option and distanced Baudard, who sailed closer to the coastline by just half hour. Closing in 1 day, 5 hours and 52 minutes, Giancarlo was unable to beat his own 2013 record. But with the Mini-May in the bag, the defending French and world champion still seals a historic poker on the circuit and places a serious down payment on the 2014 title.
The Virtual Regatta News is an update for the offshore and inshore sailing games on the line. Welcome to the office. It includes some weather analysis, interviews with the players, and also some tutorials prepared by a team of experts. Some skippers, real ones this time, are joining the show for some exclusive interviews. There is also a unique opportunity to gather in real and spend a good time together. It's called the Virtual Regatta Tour. On June 5 in Nantes, Loick Peyron, the Virtual Regatta's ambassador, shares his enthusiasm for virtual racing.
J'aime bien Virtual Regatta toute seule.
I love Virtual Regatta, you know that, we already spoke about it at length. But what I really enjoy the most is to actually meet some of the players, to put a real face to a name. That's the whole point of this gathering.
En général des pseudos, parce que tout le monde se cache un peu.
Sharing an ice cold beer is also Philippe, the skipper of Banzai, recently winner of the Normandy Virtual Race. The race was very technical. I was amongst the players who sailed very aggressively and it paid off. I was very lucky. The key point was near Guernsey Island on the eve of the arrival. You really had to time your tack to perfection. The Virtual Regatta Tour is a monthly rendezvous. The next meeting will take place in the south of France, just down the road from here, in Hyères.
They call it Hell's Gate, and with its scorching 38 degrees Celsius, it surely lived up to its name, as the Cliff Diving World Series stopped over in Possum Kingdom Lake, Texas. Nearly 7,000 enthusiastic fans gathered near Fort Worth as triple world champion Gary Hunt from the UK put on a superb performance from the 28-meter platform and posted the highest score ever in the history of the circuit with 526.40 points. Hunt won his second competition of the season thanks to a front triple somersault, adding 3.5 twist spikes with a degree of difficulty of 5.8. The competition was more than fierce, with 6 perfect 10s recorded by the judges. Reigning world champion Artem Silchenko from Russia closed in second, while American Steve Lobue took third at the expense of Colombia's cliff diving legend Orlando Duque. This was also the very debut of the Ladies Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, first of 3 calendar events of 2014. 7 athletes took on the 20-meter platform, with Rachelle Simpson from San Antonio taking first place, followed by Anna Bader of Germany in second, and fellow Texan Cecily Carlton in third.
Well, you need to like heights a little bit, but also just have confidence. That's the biggest thing. You have good trainings. Definitely when the elements are changing, especially in cliff diving, every competition is going to be different. What you see, the water, the wind, you just need to get up there, remember that you've done this hundreds, thousands of times, and you have it in your body, and not let that psych you out.
Next stop for the girls will be in Norway in mid-July, while the guys will be going to Portugal's Azores Islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Full updates on NC Sports. Spectacular Grand Prix racing took over the Bay of Naples for the third stop of the 2014 XCAT World Series. Team Faza with pilots Arif Al-Zafin and Nadir bin Henry won all 3 rounds for a hat-trick and the overall event in front of Sultan Al-Dahiri and Jay Price on Dubai, and Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli on 6. Local fans gathered in the hundreds, especially when word got out that Argentinian legend Diego Armando Maradona was confirming his presence before leaving for the World Cup in Brazil. Following a shower of media frenzy, reminiscent stadium chants, and t-shirt giveaways, the former local Napoli Football Club superstar of the 1980s also tried out one of these incredible power machines on board 6 with Nicolini, reportedly pushing the XCAT up to 90 knots and coming back with a huge smile. Maradona, who has been actively involved with the circuit over the past year, also presented winners with the trophies for this UIM Skydive Dubai XCAT World Series. In other water sports briefs, a 4-time world champion Ian Williams wins big on Lake Constance and takes away match race Germany from Keith Swinton in a tactical single race final in light airs. Both team GAC Pindar with Williams and Swinton's Alpari FX team won their semifinals 2-0, respectively against Mathieu Richard and Phil Robertson. The Britain versus Australia final in Langenarken was decided in the pre-start when Williams put on the pressure, forcing Swinton against the committee boat, and inflicted a decisive penalty that allowed no chance for a comeback on the standard Bavaria 40 cruisers. Mathieu Richard, the French Lunajets team, took third-place honors here in Germany at the Alpari World Match Racing Tour, thanks to his Petite Finale victory against the Phil Robertson's Kiwis of Waka Racing. And for more Grand Prix excitement on the water, check out this Saturday's edition of the NC Sports Buzz for the full recap with highlights and interviews from Quantum Racing's superb victory at the 52 Super Series World Championships on Sardinia's breathtaking Costa Smeralda. Plunge into the action with NC Sports.